Hi, this is singer-songwriter Elizabeth Edwards, and I'm just saying. Stigma, transforming pain into purpose. That's what I want to talk about today. The word stigma, it comes from a Latin word meaning the scar left by a hot iron. In other words, a brand, ouch. The modern version is basically a set of negative or often unfair beliefs associated with something like mental health, poverty, or addiction. Words are powerful. How we talk about ourselves, how we allow others to talk about us, and how we talk to ourselves, it all matters. It actually matters a lot. Negative labels create identity. And identity has a big impact on self-esteem and behavior. And when we have a negative identity and we go out and act out that negative identity through behaviors, we reinforce that negative identity. As human beings, we have a tendency to act congruently with our identity, and labels become a big part of who we think we are. In the rooms, it is so important that we identify, first of all, just to make sure you're in the right place. I'm a strong believer that like attracts like, and like can help like. It's hard for me. I would not be able to help somebody that had a problem that I'd never had. But my story and my experience can help another person that has my problem recover, because I can show them, first of all, that it's possible, and second of all, how I did it. So being in the right room is super important. Being in the right program, regardless if it's a 12-step program or some other type of support program, there's a lot of different ways to approach recovery. So you got to find the one that's right for you, and that takes being able to put a word to it. So acknowledging and identifying it is important. It's also really important when we're in the rooms and we're in the process of recovering. It's really important to let others know that we do recover. And yeah, it's a process. Substance use disorder is a chronic behavioral health problem, but people can and do recover. And I think it's important for us to be able to share that. But as the recovery process went on for me, I found it was really important to add a couple of pieces. Instead of saying, I'm Liz and I'm a addict, alcoholic, whatever, it was important for me to say, I'm a recovering fill in the blank. As time went along, I realized how important language is. And it's important to remind myself that it's a process and I need to stay in the process to keep my recovery. Out in the rest of the world, I'm Elizabeth and I'm a person in long-term recovery. And the reason I use that, I have a couple of reasons, but I'm going to focus on one right here. First of all, I'm not a label. I'm much more than that, and so are you, right? We're all way more than a label of any kind. I don't want to be defined by the issue. I want to be the full human being that I am. It's human nature for people to form an opinion, and stigmatized labels and language get in the way of being useful. Active addiction is painful, destructive, and often obvious. Recovery, not so much. It's mostly invisible. People don't see recovery unless you tell them. I think the scar metaphor is perfect, because when our scars heal, it identifies us because it's still there. People can see the scar when we tell our story. But instead of it representing chaos, crisis, pain, destruction, now it identifies and represents strength, courage, honesty, grace, and the ability to help others. It's that very scar that lets others know, hey, if you're struggling, you can talk to me because I know. This is how we transform our pain into purpose. Our greatest liability becomes our greatest asset. When we tell our stories with destigmatized language, we're teaching people who don't know and who don't understand. And when we're able to tell our stories with that destigmatized language to people who maybe haven't had a lot of experiences around addiction and recovery, they only have the picture of active addiction and how destructive it is. That's all they know. But when we tell our stories about recovery, in a way that they can hear it. We teach those people what it really looks like. We tell them the rest of the story. We give them an opportunity to challenge their own assumptions and respond from a place of love and compassion instead of fear and disgust. Our stories have the power to heal. This is where our pain turns into purpose.
Thank you for listening today. I hope this has been helpful to you in meaningful ways. I'm singer-songwriter Elizabeth Edwards, and I'm just saying.